Hello everyone and welcome to Odoo Experience. My name is Mathieu Germain. I am the MRP product owner at Odoo, and today I am very excited to explain to you how we are taking the Odoo MES to the next level with the introduction of the shop floor app. Alright, so this is the agenda for today. At the end there will be a Q&A, as you have just done with my colleague Lucas. So on this regard, I invite you to scan this QR code or follow the link that is just below. If during the presentations some questions come up, so I can make sure to answer everything at the end. While I give you some time to scan this QR code, note that at 3:30 there will also be a more general Q&A with Lucas and myself. So I invite you to come there as well if you have any more general MRP questions. All right, so I would say to start. All right, so let's start with a small introduction. So first of all, what is an MES? So this is a screenshot of a presentation that I did last year about the redesign of the MES in Odoo 16, and where I basically explain that an MES, which stands for a manufacturing execution system, is basically the link between your manufacturing shop floor and your top level demand planning. It's basically the tool that allows a manufacturing operator to know what job they have to work on today, what product they need to do, what quantities, and how, so that you can meet your customer orders tomorrow. So if you have any more curiosity about this topic, I invite you to watch the talk, or at least the introduction of my talk from last year. You can find it on YouTube, and the title is right here. So now, a bit of context about where we come from. So up until yesterday, I think a lot of you might have been on version 16 or version 15. How does the Odoo MES look like in this version? And so for that, just to show you a bit of context, I would like you to show a few screenshots. So in version 16 and a few versions before that, this is the main view of the MES control panel in Odoo. In this view, you see your various work centers. You can identify issues. For instance, when you see a red dot, you see that there could be an issue with one of the work centers. And most importantly, you see the work orders that you need to treat and the ones that are in progress, and you can keep track of that. Once you go into a specific work center, you are greeted with the following view, where you can pick up where you left off, or simply start a new work order. Once you go into a work order, your screen transforms into this tablet view, as we call it, and in this tablet view, it's quite useful if you want your employees to track time, to follow instructions, validate quality checks. So for instance, over here in this screenshot, we asked to pass or fail this specific test to make sure that this table is built according to plan. And on the left side, you see the different steps that you need to do. So this was a redesign that we did last year. And as part of that redesign, we also introduced the possibility to log in as an employee, which was quite useful in the case that you wanted perhaps a bit more rigorous cost tracking, or simply a tool for your employees to authenticate themselves and process work orders. So, to bring this to the next level, this year we felt like we needed to have a new vision. And as some of you might have heard this morning in the talk of Fabien, this was helped a lot by the introduction of the kitchen display in POS, where they introduced a new view where employees, restaurant employees, could process orders as well and perform them. So this was sort of the starting point for us to reconsider perhaps that this view could also be used in MRP. But on top of that, when we were rebuilding this new vision for the tablet view in Odoo, there were three main things that were important to us. So the first thing that was important for us when employees were processing work orders is more flexibility. What we mean by that is that more flexibility in the way that you can interact with the work order, but also more flexibility about what you can do with a work order. Second of all, better visibility. So as you've seen before, when we were going into a work order, we were locking ourselves into this tablet view. It was nice because we had all of the instructions and so on, but we could perhaps lose track of how this work order was doing in parallel to other work orders that might have been going on at this work center. Perhaps various people were sharing the same device, and so if 3 people are working on 3 different work orders, it could be useful that each one of them has a visibility about where they are in their work order. And then finally, as Odoo updates its design every year, and especially this year with the introduction of the new milk design, we felt that the Odoo tablet view could also do with a more modern design. And this is what we finally came up with. So over here, this screen is actually divided into 3 main parts. I will cover them in my demo in just a minute, but before I go into the demo, I would simply like to clarify a few things so that you can follow me later as well. So first of all, we have this All MO section at the top left of your screen, and this is actually a completely new feature that we are bringing to the tablet view. And what this button shows you, it's basically an overview not only of the work order, but of the whole manufacturing order. And so here you can see for the whole manufacturing order, what are the work orders that are currently underway, which ones are waiting, and which ones have been done. And on top of that, you can also track the consumption of your components. Additionally, when we move to the right hand side of this All MO button, we have the view of the different work centers. And if you go into a specific work center, you can see the number of work orders that are currently planned or ongoing. Of course, it only shows you work orders that are linked to this work center. Then on the left-hand side, we have the employee bar. You can hide this bar if you want more space to visualize your content. And then in the middle, we have, of course, either the manufacturing orders or the work orders. All right, so now that this has been clarified, I would like to go into a demo of the system. All right, so here I have my database. I will go into my shop floor application over here. And actually, the first thing that I am greeted with is because it's the first thing it's the first time I install the shop floor app on this computer. Is what are the workstations that I would like to manage from this device? Your manufacturing facility could have various areas where various different work centers will be managed, and so if you do not want to see any unnecessary information, you could simply filter it like that. And note that once this has been set up for the first time, we keep it in the cache and we memorize it for the next times. All right, so for the purpose of this demonstration, I'm just going to click everything. Once you do that, you see the work centers appearing on the top of your screen. All right, now we are here in the MO part of the screen, and I see here 3 MOs, MO 33, 34, and 35. I will cover these 3 manufacturing orders with you today because they are all slightly different from one another. We will start with our MO 33 over here. So we have here a small summary of it. We see that we need to manufacture 2 units of this product drawer. We see that the next operation here is the drill station 1. And we see that at the moment no production has been registered and no components have been consumed either. So in order to access this drill station, I can click on this button, or I can simply also just access the work center like that. When I go into the work center, I now see a work order. I see that I have to do my packing over here. In this case, I'm an employee. I would like to manage my login before I process this work order. And so perhaps over here I am, let's say, Rachel in this case, and I want to start working in this work order. So to do that, I simply click on the top part of the work order, any part of the top work order, and it will start the timer. If I want to stop it, I simply click on it again, and if I want to log myself out, I just click on my name again. And if now someone else wants to log in and pick up where I left off, no problem. They simply click on their name and they carry on the work order. Alright, so here I can start by registering a new lot number for my drawer, and I can register my component consumption over here. Over here, the way it works, those moves that you see over here, for instance, the consumption of my black drawer, it's something that you set up in your bill of material. In your bill of material, we have what we call the manual consumption. You can activate that and you will see this consumption in every operation of the process, or you can say that the component is consumed in a specific operation and then you will only see it in this operation, which is what I've done here. Over here, I simply want to specify perhaps a different lot number that I used for this manufacturing order. I can edit the quantity if I want, or otherwise, if everything is fine, I can simply validate my consumption over here. I mark it as done, and as I mark it as done, the work order is fading out, and as you will see later, as this work order is fading out, I can undo my action, but I will show you that perhaps later. Now I see here that in assembly line 2, I have a new work order that has come. It is because this drawer is manufactured in 3 different operations. So we had the packing before, and now we have the testing. So if I am in assembly line 1, again, just as before, I can register my consumption. I can also look at my worksheet if I want. So in order to do this testing operation over here, I can visualize this spreadsheet if I want, and I can simply mark my operation as done. I don't need to start the timer if I want to. I can simply mark it as done. And as soon as I do so, the final operation of the process appears, and I can also treat it from here. We now have 2 work orders in this view. Let's say that we see here that assembly line 2 actually, which can do the same job as assembly line 1, has 0 work orders ongoing. I can therefore perhaps move this work order to this assembly line 2 instead. And if I go to my assembly line 2, it appears. Can you hear me? Oh. And if I go to my assembly line 2, it appears over here, and then you go, I can finish my thing. I can close the production also if I want to, but I don't have to. Here I decided not to do it, and basically it's the manufacturing manager who is going to have an overview of my manufacturing order here, and who will close the manufacturing order. They see that I have done the packing, the testing, the long time assembly, I've generated my lot number, I've consumed these quantities over here. If they want, they can also access the backend MO over here that will have more information about the MO. And so for instance, they can check the time that has been spent. So for instance, over here they can see who has worked on it. Actually it was Rachel that spent 10 seconds, and then Anna Street that spent this time. Whatever they want to check, they can do, and they can modify a few things if they want. But if everything is fine, they can just close the production. Alright, so this was my first manufacturing order that I successfully completed in the shop floor. Now, for my second manufacturing order, we are going to go into perhaps a little more complex flow. And so for that, I would like to look at the manufacture of my table over here, which has a series of steps, 9 in total. So for that, perhaps I want to log in with Paul Williams. So Paul Williams has a PIN code that he has to log in, so he can have authenticate himself properly. And so this time Paul Williams is going to start to work on this work order. Right, as soon as he starts working on it, his avatar shows up over here, and he can start interacting with the work order. He can perform a series of quick actions here on the right hand side. So for the generate serial numbers, for the instruction type steps, or for the printing type steps, you can simply click on the small icons here on the right hand side, and we will perform the quick actions for you. So I have shown you that before, but if you want, you can also process the steps by having more information here in the window. And so for here, for instance, I am just going to start processing my work order step by step. Here I have to consume my tabletop. I can look at the serial number, edit it if I want to, or just simply validate it. Here I am doing some screwing work. Here I am just doing a pass-fail test. Here I'm asked to measure the angle between my wood to make sure everything is well aligned. I validate that. I just have another check over here to attach the legs. All right, seems quite straightforward. Note that you can also go back and forth between your steps over here without validating anything if you want to see what's next. You can also at any point leave that view and come back to it like that. Let's say you want to go to a break, no problem. Here I'm going to register my lot number for my legs, and then here I have a final printing label job to be done. I do not have the whole IoT setup today, but note that these printing jobs, these measure type jobs can be automated if you connect your devices with the Odoo shop floor. Right, and so in this case everything is done, and let's say that as I'm marking it as done, I just noticed that I did a mistake. I see here that it was 90 degrees, but let's say I just want to modify it. Actually, I undo my action, I come back, I simply validate this over here, and then I can say, okay, I'm just double checking everything, and this time everything seems fine, and I can just mark it as done, and that's it. Actually, I didn't close the production, but I could have. I'm just going to close it from here. All right, here I see 9 out of 9 steps, everything has been validated. All right, I now have a final work order, and the reason why I want to show you, this final manufacturing order is actually because this manufacturing order does not have any work orders. It's simply a manufacturing order that is in the system, but if you want, you can also choose to use the shop floor to process it. So you can simply interact with it as well. Here we are just registering the quantity that you have produced, some of the component consumption, but you can also choose to add a work order. For instance, you can say, okay, over here, actually the customer requested a painting job, or just like a customization hole, or to drill some holes, let's say. So let's say drill holes in 30 centimeter diameter, let's say. You can assign it to a work center, drill station, and you can even assign it to someone if you want to, or you simply add an operation. And over here, my manufacturing order has been updated from the shop floor interface, and I can simply here mark it as done. All right. Something I forgot to cover today, but which I do want to mention. We do have the My Work Order tab over here. This My Work Order tab will show you all of the work orders that you are currently working on. And if you have assigned employees to a work orders, they will also see their work orders over there. So you can pre-assign your work orders to the work orders, to the employees, sorry. And then they can just use that filter to treat any work orders that they would like to do. So quite handy over here. And let's say here that I am done with this manufacturing order, I consume everything, I close my production. All right. So I'm done, everything is at 0, and I am done for today, so I can simply close the shop floor like that. I think I covered everything that I wanted in this demo. So thanks a lot for listening. If you have any questions, I will spend most of my time during these 3 days at the logistic booth at the back of this hall, so don't hesitate to come and see me. And yeah, so if you have any questions, now I will try to answer them.
For the presentation. So we have a few questions here. In case of many workstations, are you able to create some groups, or there is other good way to visualize it?
Are you able to create some what?
Is there a way? Okay, I'm gonna reread the question again.
Go for it.
So in case of many workstations, are you able to create some groups, or there's other good way to visualize it?
Oh, at the moment, no, but you could use the search bar to apply like a specific filter and save this one as a favorite if you wanted to create group of work centers to visualize your work, only those work orders.
Okay. And can I prevent a worker from closing the manufacturing order?
Well, you can prevent, no. So this option is open to everyone at the moment. What you can do is that you can prevent access to a worker to a specific workstation. And if they try to access this workstation, everything will just be blurred. But that action, as soon as they have access to the work order, they have also the possibility to close the production.
Okay. Do not hesitate to have a few minutes for the Q&A. So if you have more questions, do not hesitate to populate it in the pad. The next one is, can you print label automatically on printer connected to workstation on which you use Odoo or on connected via IoT?
Mm-hmm. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. So here actually with Odoo 17 we have two options. My colleague Tiffany tomorrow will hold a talk about the automation of printing jobs more generally in logistics. So for instance, in manufacturing, one of the automations that you can do is that when you generate a serial or a lot number, you can have your printer that is either connected with IoT box or without IoT box to automatically print that label, or you can use the existing printing label function that I showed today that also can be connected to an IoT printer or a normal printer.
Okay. Okay, perfect. And the next question is it possible to link the module with a few automated manufacturing plant? For example, link sensors or conveyors?
Can you repeat the question?
So is it possible to link the module with a fully automated manufacturing plant?
Well,
like a link sensor.
Yeah, I think it's a more general question here. As long as you can make sure that manufacturing orders are coming in into Odoo, and so for that you can use our API. Then you are fine, because as long as a manufacturing order exists, yep. Then we will be able to treat it in the shop floor.
Mm-hmm. And how to reopen an accidentally closed MO?
How to?
To reopen. If you accidentally close a manufacturing order,
so you can simply click on the MO. It's yep. the same action in the work orders. You click on the card, and it will just come back. Or you have a small undo button at the bottom of the card.
Okay. The next question is: do you need to have an Odoo account for each operator in order to get a custom screen on MES?
In order to have?
To have a custom screen on MES.
Well, yes. So, well, the session belongs to the user. So every station ideally has a different user. Yep. But once the session is running, then you don't need a license for every employee that is logging in.
All right, thank you. And the next question is: when you assign the work centers the first time, is it linked to the device or the user?
The workstations is linked to the user.
To the user?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, perfect. And the next question is there a way to assign automatically work orders to free employees or based on priorities?
No. I mean, you can assign any new work order from the interface to any employees. Mm-hmm. But it does not, I mean, if you're looking at the shop floor interface, it does not look at whoever employee is free or not. But in the backend, if you are looking at the planning per employee in the manufacturing, which is simply an additional group by in the planning by work center, then you can see which work orders are not yet assigned, and you can assign it to employees. But that whole concept of non-assigned employees is not yet in the MRP suite.
Okay. And when we insert a quality control for each phase, we can select a responsible for it, but can we set that he can only do the quality check and not the operator?
Oh, I see. No, we don't have that possibility. But it's true that you can set a responsible on a quality point, but that is simply used for the backend view, so that if I'm responsible for a specific quality check, I can look at the results of this quality check. So by default, I can look at the ones that are assigned to me, but that function is not used to prevent other users from performing these quality checks.
Okay, perfect. And is it possible to work in parallel on several work centers on a production order?
Yes. Yes, so here you can work on as many parallel work orders as you want. There is no restraint on that, and it's a bit what I was discussing about the additional visibility that you get by not having to lock yourself into the screen. If you are simply working on the cards, since you can visualize several cards at the same time, you can do a parallel time blocking.
All right, and the next question is, can the start of a work order be blocked if the corresponding picking was not done?
No.
There's no way
This
to
is
do
a
that.
customization. No.
Okay. Double checking if there are questions I haven't
The only thing
added.
that I will just add to that is that if you are actually working in a two-step manufacturing process, and that means you have a picking before the manufacturing, well, the components from the manufacturing order are automatically reserved based on the quantities of the picking. So it means that the work order is going to wait for, the status is going to be waiting for components as long as you don't validate the picking. And since you can choose what work order status you display in the shop floor, do you display the ones that are ready, do you display the ones that are in progress, do you display the ones that are waiting, and so on, you can indirectly enforce which work orders can be started or not.
All right, perfect. And can you verify the capacity per work center and or per user?
Only per work center.
Per work center.
The capacity per employee is not currently covered in manufacturing. It would, assume that we do a double capacity planning if you want. At the moment, the only capacity that we use in Odoo MRP is the work center. And here, if you go to the planning by work center view, you will see the capacity based on the work center schedule.
Okay, perfect. So we're going to take a couple more questions to end our Q&A session. If I have employees that work on different work center, when I select the work center, can I have the list of employees that is filtered for the ones that work on that specific work center?
Can you repeat the question?
So if I have employees that work on different work center, when I select a work center, can I have the list of employees that is filtered for the ones that work on that specific work center?
From the back end, yes, you can, but from the shop floor, no.
Okay. All right, so yes for the...
Yes, well, you can go to a work center, see all of the work orders that have been done on this work center, and then filter or group by employee. But in the shop floor, this is not meant for that.
Okay. And the last question that we're going to take is, does Odoo update picking order on BOM update when it also update the work order? And can it first take stock on pre-production stock?
Wait, can you repeat that?
So does Odoo update picking order on BOM updates?
Yes.
When it also update the work order? And can it first take the
it does
stock
both.
on pre-production stock?
And can it first take the stock? Yeah, so those are two different questions.
Yeah.
So whether or not Odoo can use the pre-production stock depends on how you manage the picking from stock to pre-production. If it's an MTS or if it's in a make-to-stock mechanism, the MO can always use the quantities that are in pre-production before it uses the components that need to be transferred. Just be careful with that, that the rule that sends components from stock to pre-production is also in an MTS way. It's the only way to use what you have in pre-production and trigger a transfer for the remaining quantity. Use an MTS rule. And now I forgot the first
second
part.
one, the first part, or the second part?
The first part.
So does Odoo update picking order?
Yes,
on
we
BOM?
do update. So if you update the demand quantity in the manufacturing order, we automatically update the picking quantity.
All right, perfect.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot for answering your questions, and to the audience, thanks a lot for participating.
Yes.
And thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot. Thanks to you. Thank you, guys.
Enjoy.
Ça va?